Welcome to another episode of Bourbon with the Editor. I'm Dennis Spate, the publisher of Cutting Tool Engineering, and I'm here in Arlington Heights with some guests from Vargus, and want to just introduce everybody really quick. On my left, your right, I guess, is Tel Rainen,
Hey, Daniel.
who is the Global Marketing Communications Chief over at Vargus. And on my right is Will Nash, Application Engineer. And to Will's right is Joe McGee, who is the Senior Applications Engineer at Vargus. With that, we've got a lot to discuss, so I don't want to go on too long. I want to ask Joe if you'd mind introducing the bourbon we're going to sample tonight.
It's a bourbon that is just started in 2011. So it's a very new bourbon. The history's pretty rich. It's an interesting story.
Yeah, Angel's Envy. Joe is the main reason that we're all here. Because he helped come up with the name for this whole series of conversations about machining, metalworking, cutting tools, machine tools, and anything to do with workforce development.
We love the industry, metal cutting, anything we can help our industry here in America.
We always like to start our episode off with a little talk about the bourbon we're going to drink. So before we get into what we're going to talk about with Vargus this time around, I'm going to just read you a little bit more. We had Angel's Envy once before on the episode. We shared about how it got its name from the master distiller Lincoln Henderson, right? Yeah. And he talked about how when he first tasted the bourbon that he came up with his son Wes, that he got a better deal on it, a better share than the Angels did. And that's how it got its name, Angel's Envy. What I wanted to share was a little bit about this distiller, Lincoln Henderson. He was more than just the way this got its name. You've got to hear a little bit more about this guy and his life. He came out of retirement for his son, Wes, to come up with Angel's Envy. It wasn't the only thing he made. And I just want to read this from the Angel's Envy website. It says he was a craftsman with a healthy respect for tradition, but he also possessed a restless instinct for constant improvement. During his years at Brown-Forman, another distillery, Lincoln was the creator of many notable brands, including Woodford Reserve and Gentleman Jack. Angel's Envy was his first and only independent project, and it was his masterpiece. And that was the last thing he worked on, and that was with his son. So the interesting part about this is the story about how certain barrels at the top, so much of the spirit from the whiskey evaporates, and that's the Angel's share. I'm kind of not doing this justice right now, but
Pretty close.
and so the way the whiskey got its name, Angel's Envy, was a comment from Lincoln Henderson about that the whiskey was so good. Right. The angels are going to be envious, that's something along those lines. Well, this is a true story from the Angel's Envy website, so don't mistrust it. Lincoln and his brother, when they were kids, they attempted to borrow an airplane from a remote Alaskan airfield when he was 12. Thankfully for fans of whiskey everywhere, they crashed it into a hangar before getting it airborne. They were never caught. So all I can say is he's had angels on his side he had angels on his side his entire life. So
great story. I think it's really good.
I love learning a little bit more about bourbon and how it tastes. We're going to pour some here real quick. And here it is. And you can see the wings on it, maybe. I'm not sure, but let's pour some real quick. Will, I want to start with you and find out how IMTS 2024 went. It was just about a month ago that it ended, but we stopped and talked for a little while. It was always busy over at your booth. What was it like, the whole show? Did it go well?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. IMTS, we had a record year this year. It was a very positive year, and that was in large part thanks to our partnership with Star CNC. We had a SR20 machine on the booth. and we were able to make a few demos for our customers to see, so that when we were talking about our cutting tools, that they were able to actually see them in action. We had a few different parts. I think we've got a picture of them. Yep, there they are. So we had a couple parts representing the medical industry and small parts machining. We had a bone screw and a dental implant and an extender. And again, these were produced on a Star CNC. This was an SR20JA. So the machine itself is a nice, small, compact footprint. It's a Swiss style machine, which is we find incredibly popular, at least among our customer base. But
Right.
um, we're not only able to offer uh, small tools, but we're also able to offer large tools and fit everybody's needs in there. 27 different tool spots on this machine, capability to add up to 41 tools. And by doing this, it's nice because you're able to set up and touch off your tools just one time, and then they're ready for anything that you want to throw at it. So, here we were running 3 different parts, but might as well be 30 different parts, right? As long as you have the right tools to work inside and outside, um, it's basically ready to go. Uh, you saw earlier that we had done 3 different parts. I want to talk a little bit specifically about some of those parts. And the first one that I want to talk about is the bone screw. Um, that was a very interesting part. So on the
Can
front of
I
the part,
can I interrupt for
yeah,
just a sec? Is that the actual size of the bone screw?
it's hard to know what device people are watching on. This particular bone screw is 3 inches long. It's got 2.7 inches of threads.
Okay.
The thread here, I've got it written down, is a M 6.35 by 1.5 by 69 millimeters long. So it's a pretty decent thread, and we were able to whirl that, for demo purposes in under 10 seconds, right? So whirling, it's an incredibly robust way to make a lot of parts really fast, right? And because you're working very close to the collet, or guide bushing in this case, there's a lot of rigidity. You're able to produce the same part again and again without worrying about chatter and things like that. We had quite a few different operations though on this tool. We had, I think, a video of it running too. Here we're gonna use our ST cut. We'll profile the end, and then we had a end mill come in because this is a self-cutting screw, so it needed some teeth on the front to cut into the bone. And then we'll come up with our whirling in just a second here, and we'll get that thread cut. Let's see how fast that goes. And again, it's a thread that we made up for our purposes, but it's M 6.35 by 1.5 by 69 millimeters long. Here you go to see the thread coming right out of the whirling unit.
Huh. And this was at IMTS.
Yeah, these demos were live at IMTS, so anybody who was at our booth got to see this also. But for those of you who couldn't make it, here you go, you get to see it now. And then, yeah, back to our ST cut, and now our VG cut. We're profiling the back and cutting off. And then we'll go over to the sub spindle, and we'll start working on those operations. On the sub spindle here, we were going to be broaching. We had a 3.5 millimeter hex on the back so that somebody could put um, a hex bit in there and drive it into where it's supposed to be. So yeah, there it's gets drilled, broached, gets put in the ejector, and it's just that fast. I'd like to showcase a few of these tools. We had our ST cut.
Ooh.
It's a really wonderful system. The image that you see here is a gang of various tools. We've got BG cut, ST cut, and mock threading on there. But we've got another picture with the just exclusively ST cut, and you can see that we've got a variety of different holders to put the tools in the right place and the right orientation for the different operations. As well as we have a full line of different type of tools for this system, right? So whether you're grooving, face grooving, square grooving, front turning, back turning, cutting off, threading, we have a full line of tools for this
Is that what
system.
you're depicting in that image right there?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So it's just showing the different tools and where they would fit, which applications they would be used for. exactly. Yep.
I ask the obvious questions. So.
That's great. Yeah. And I think one of the things that makes the system really unique is the holder, right? The holder gives us an incredible amount of rigidity. It's got a dovetail in the front. The unique feature about it is its rigidity, right? It's industry leading rigidity on the system. We've done a few tests with customers, and we've always outperformed whoever they're currently running. The way that we achieve that rigidity is by having a dovetail system in the tool, and the screw not only holds the tool in place like a traditional screw would, but it actually forces the tool against the dovetail, so it keeps it perfectly still while it's machining. It increases rigidity, which has the effect of giving you better surface finish and longer tool life. So that's a really robust system, and because you can reach that screw from both sides, you don't have to take the stick out in order to do a tool change. And because it registers from the front, there's really no need at all to change offsets in between changing cutting tools. It's a turn and a half in one direction. Insert pops out, new insert pops in, another turn and a half, and it's locked in and you're ready to go. So tool change time, tool setup time, really minimized.
Is it difficult to change the ST cut inserts inside the machine?
No, no. So the really wonderful thing about that dovetail system is that you can see in most instances the tools are hanging. In some instances they're coming in from one side or the other, um, but that dovetail system really holds them in place, so it's a one-handed tool change, right?
Yeah.
Basically I can reach in there with the wrench, loosen it, grab the insert, pull it out, reach in, pop another insert in, tighten it up, and I'm ready to go. I'm not having to reach in and uncomfortable position, oil dripping on me, all that fun stuff. I'm just one hand inside.
Also, the insert is not going to fall off once you loosen the screw. It's just going to stay there until you take it off.
Exactly.
Which is nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. No, that's a really great feature about those, and especially with the price of carbide, you want to recover those and
Right.
recycle them. Yeah,
Always recycling.
yeah. The other system that was first and foremost on this part was the whirling system. Whirling is something that um, it's a very interesting system because, as I said earlier, it allows you to work very close to the collet or guide bushing. In this case, um, it puts a lot of teeth onto the cutting tool, and it's able to turn very fast. So we're able to get incredibly good cycle times because of its speed. We're able to get incredibly good surface finishes because we're working very close to the collet or guide bushing. Um, and we're able to get incredibly precise threads also, which is necessary. And mostly this is going to be applicable in either very long parts that would tend to whip, which would be difficult and might require a secondary operation like grinding later, if you were going to do a standard turning because of pressure during the threading process, or for medical parts where it's hard to form thread shapes. So yeah, this particular system that we used at IMTS had 6 triangle-shaped inserts inside of a puck. The puck goes into a driven unit, and that driven unit is stationary. Yep.
So it looks like you're cutting brass. Can you Vargus cut high temp alloys?
Yeah, absolutely. Medical industry that this was designed for is generally titanium or high chrome steel. The system cuts those just fine. Uh, for IMTS and for our demo, we wanted everybody to see what we were doing, and it's definitely hard to see when there's just a mist of coolant. So we
Yeah.
did brass. Brass is self-lubricating. It allows us to really show off the cutting tools rather than just a coolant spray.
It's a good demo
Yeah, it worked
material.
nicely. Yeah, yeah, it worked very nicely. So again, 6 triangle-shaped inserts. We can do specials also for the whirling. We do a lot of specials for them, and we've got great lead times right now. We've got exceptional lead times right now when you look at what our competition is doing. So if you've got an application that you'd like to check out for whirling, let us know. We'd love to be able to quote it for you, and we'd love to be able to get tools faster than the competition can. what I think we're missing here for this one is our cutoff system. So in this particular, well, all of our demos, we had the same cutoff, but here we had our VG cut, and here you can see a picture of our monoblock holder. This is the same style of holder that we had on the machine, and you see the coolant panels put the coolant exactly where it needs to, right? So we can capable of running these with high pressure coolant, again, for those difficult to machine materials. So it's a great system. We've got right hand, left hand neutral. Here's a picture of it in action on the machine for the VG cut. We've also got internal, right? So if you want to do internal grooving or parting off, we've got that. Or if you need to work with it on the sub spindle and you have a round holder, it's a great application for these holders too. Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, we had the brooch. We had the brooch on this
What is the thinnest parting insert you have?
1.5.
1.5. So there you go. So here's a picture of our broaching tool and its holder. These holders have just like our ST cut, just like all of our holders, really. They've got a really great positioning system. So we're located on a pin. So each time you change a tool, it requires, again, really minimal change time, really no offsets in between tool changes. And this system is capable of being in a live tool holder or driven by the machine axes. If it works on a live tool holder, it's going to pack really fast. And if it's driven by the machine axes, it's a little bit stronger. It'll take heavier cuts. This system is commonly replacing rotary broaching or wobble broaching. And there's definitely a place in the industry for that, but this is, as you saw in the video, extremely quick. And the really nice thing about it is we're able to control the tool path on the way in and on the way out. So if we need to, we can create not only walking down the wall, but we can push it over and break the chip, so there will be nothing left in the bottom of the pocket, something that might be able to fall out and get left in a body, for instance, for medical parts, or fall out and get into a airplane fuel line or something like that, right? Like, so
Right.
you don't want scrap metal.
Right.
Yeah.
So for the broaching, we do have standard hex keys and Torx keys available. And we're also offering custom, so if somebody needs something, again, feel free and reach out and let us know what your applications are. We'll get you guys sorted.
I was going to ask if you used a Genius app to pick out the tools.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the Genius app, I mean, as an application engineer, it makes my life super simple, right? It's basically a conversational program. You tell it what you want to do, and what operation you want to do, what material you want to work in, and it gives you a list of tools that are capable of making that profile for you. And then after that, it'll start to make recommendations for you as far as how to run it. Um, Once you get all the way to the end, it'll even spit out code for you. So in a lot of cases, you can just take and copy that code, paste it onto your controller, make sure that you've chosen the right offsets and all that good stuff, and away you go. Really that simple.
That is very cool. I mean, we've talked about the Genius system in previous episodes, and it's with the need for passing on knowledge, the workforce shortage, and all the rest. This is going to help everybody who is struggling with filling positions with knowledgeable employees. They don't necessarily need to be able to um, do every last thing, including programming something. If they can just use this app, they can perform the functions of their job.
Yeah, and we at Vargus also, we have a highly technical team of application engineers out there to support our cutting tools. So when you buy from us, you don't just get somebody who says, well, the speeds and feeds are in the back of the catalog. We come to your shop. We make sure that you're running properly under the proper cutting conditions, that your setup is good. We want our customers to succeed, right? We want to build relationships with our customers, and we want them to know that when they have a difficult application, or when they have something that just needs to run no matter what, day and night, whatever the issue is, we're there to help them solve it. We help with process improvement a lot, and tool selection, and first run PPAPs, whatever our customers need, we're there to support.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So, there was a lot of crossover here, right? As I said, we tooled up the machine once. We made several different parts with this. So there's a few operations that'll look familiar, but the thing that I'd like to focus on here is the Mach TT threading. We do have a video of this part running. If we could play that real quick. Um,
And I'm just going to insert here that that is it's a dental implant,
mhm.
but it's way bigger than what an actual dental implant would be, right?
Yeah, I mean, this one would be sized for a horse. Yeah.
Yes, people don't have to get fearful of going to the dentist.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I mean, so obviously we had some limitations, right? We had to choose a collet size. And for the sub collet, we chose a 1/4 inch collet, and that's why this is the size that it is.
It's a great demo. It
Yeah.
really is.
I wanted to point out there that on that particular operation, we made a thread that was a 1.75 millimeter pitch, 0.95 millimeter profile height in 4 passes. Okay, and
Is that what we're looking at right now?
no, right now we're looking at the broaching, so it
Oh,
was like that, right?
okay.
It was very quick. The Mach is an incredibly robust tool. We're able to run it extremely fast and extremely hard and get extremely good tool life out of it. Um, the the particular thread, there was actually 2 threads because we used a partial profile insert for that. So the first thread, like I said, was a 1.75 millimeter. The second thread was a zero point 0.5 millimeter, and using a partial profile insert allows us to cut both of those with the same cutting tool without having to do a tool change, right? So we're keeping the tool right there. We're reducing cycle time even further by doing that. And I know that we've got a couple of, oh, there goes. They're going to play it for us again.
That is amazing. Yeah. That's the 4 passes.
No, this here, they're going to come up and cut. We've got, again, this is a self-cutting screw, so
Oh,
it's going to need a couple of teeth, so we're milling those in. And then we'll come back here with the ST cut, cut the profile. Notice there's 2 different angles and a flat and a straight section on there. So that's that thread, and there's the second thread, and it's all done that quick. Right? And people will say, hey, it's brass. Of course you can cut it quick. Well, we've had plenty of tests recently for customers where we've cut in steels, in super alloys and things like that, where we've reduced cycle time 60% or more while increasing tool life. This is an incredibly robust tool.
yeah. I don't think dental implants, I could be wrong, but they're not made out of brass.
They're definitely not made out of brass. Yeah, this would generally be made out of something like titanium.
Right.
Yeah.
I've
But
got one, so I had some
You don't want
experience
it to be
with it.
brass.
yeah, no.
But okay, so that's nice. And we went through the broaching process. Is there?
Well, right here we're doing a thread milling process. So this has an internal thread, right? Because for a dental implant, they'll screw it into your jawbone, and then they'll put the implant on top of that. And then they screw that down, right? So that needs an internal thread. So we just thread milled that thread, and we did that in 2 passes with our Milli Pro. First pass was at 75% depth. Second pass was at 100% depth. I know we've got a couple of pictures of the Mach TT. So again, for the Mach, we've got internal and external, right? The internal again can be used on the sub spindle. If you've got a round holder, you can use that on the sub spindle to cut OD threads also. So that's a great option to have. And we've got a lot of bars, round bars that have anvils on them too. If people are changing thread profiles often and need the ability to change the angle of that insert, that's definitely something that we have. And I think we've got even a picture here of our pocket design and average. Um, oh, there's our high pressure coolant. So typical of Swiss machines, but also very applicable for many other machining types. And so here we're saying, 60% reduction in number of passes, 60% reduction in machining time, 50% increase in tool life. Uh, this was not, some competitor brand that we weren't sure if we ran properly, right? This was against our standard, which was already competitive in the industry, and we're able to beat it by that much.
Wow.
It's a huge time savings and a huge cost reduction for our customers. Um, and again, just like the ST cut, the rigidity is super important here. So this insert spent a long time in R&D. We've got a brand new grade of carbide for it. We've got a brand new coating for it. We've got a brand new edge prep for it. And we've got a brand new pocket for it. So the pocket design here, it's a little bit small, but maybe you can see there's a little bit of highlights there, some red and some arrows. And those are showing our proprietary dovetail. And so when the cutting tool comes under load, it's forced down and into the pocket, and it's held in 3 points. So it's extremely rigid, it's extremely stable. It doesn't vibrate, it doesn't wear out, and it just keeps cutting. And because of that rigidity, we're also able to push it extremely hard, extremely fast.
That's a good look at it right there on the screen.
Yeah, certainly is. And the Genius again. This is available in the Genius. It's a great way to get speeds and feeds for this cutting tool and for most of everything else that we offer. I go right in the Genius. I tell it, hey, I'm doing this material. I want to use this system. And it'll give me everything I need in order to be successful. And a lot of our customers are like, you want me to run my machine how fast? Yeah, yeah, I do. I want you to run it that fast. And
Okay.
that we make believers out of them one at a time. We do have one more. It's the medical extender or extender in this case. So, again, we did turn the geometry and the OD with our ST cut. We threaded the external threads there with the mock, and we opened up the inside with our micro tools. And also we have an internal thread there that's done with our microscope tools. You guys have already heard me talk about the mock quite a bit, so we can probably jump right into our boring and microscope. So here's a little bit of a look at some of our offerings for microscope. And just like the ST cut, right, we've got, again, an incredibly rigid system that holds these, and we've got a lot of different profiles if you want to front boring, back boring, grooving, threading, everything in between there, pre-parting, all that fun stuff, chamfering. I think if we could get a
What
look
is
at
the smallest boring tool diameter in microscope?
it's around 1 millimeter pre-drilled hole for the smallest. Yep. So yeah, and we've got again ability to make specials and these and everything else we offer. So uh, you know, especially if you don't see it in the catalog, give us a call and we'll get you sorted. Yeah, there it goes. So this is typical of our double-ended holder, which would allow you to increase your tools on the machine. A lot of them will hold one tool. We're allowing you to hold tools on both sides so that you can work on the inside of your main spindle and your sub spindle.
What do you offer for chip control?
So we have quite a few different chip breakers, quite a few different coatings, as well as optimizing speeds and feeds, right? So we have a lot of different ways we can tackle that. It's going to be a little bit dependent on the machine that you're running, a little bit dependent on the coolant that you're running, the material that you're running. There's quite a lot of variables that go into it, but again, we're a highly technical team of application engineers, and we're here to support. So if you have one of our cutting tools or are looking at one of your cutting tools, feel free to reach out to us on the website or on the phone, and we'll be there to make sure that you get the best
Uh-huh.
possible performance out of your Vargus tools.
Can you face groove on the microscope?
Yeah, we have face grooving, we have OD grooving, ID grooving rather. I guess we could do OD grooving with it too. I mean, a groove is a groove, right? The clearance angles might be a little
That's what I
bit,
hear.
but
A
yeah,
groove is a groove.
yeah. But yeah, no, we have face grooving, and don't think we had a picture of that up there, but um, and what else do we have to cover on the microscope? I think we've got a quick video. Well, there's one of our front turning inserts working there. I think we've got a quick video of the extender being made. I'd like you all to see that. There's a threading insert.
Mhm.
The video I think is V3. Here it comes. So you can see both spindles working at the same time here. We've got on the sub spindle, which is on the left side of your screen, we're starting by drilling there, and now it's just going to have to wait a minute for spindle 1 to finish up, but we'll come in with the microscope tools in just a minute and bore out. We've got a pretty interesting profile going on. I think the picture that was just up that showed the threading tool, um, that was almost exactly what we're making here. So we've got quite a bit of geometry, and we're putting it all on there, actually in this case with one tool, and then we're going to come back with our threader, cut that ID thread.
Go ahead. No, that's fine. I was just going to say, I mean, you did all this at IMTS. You were demonstrating all these things.
Yeah. So, we had quite an extensive lineup, right? We had definitely some help from Star CNC. Um, they had a wonderful team of application engineers that was there to help us get us started, and to understand the intricacies of working with their machine. But after that, then we optimized everything to run as best as possible with our cutting tools and hopefully give a good show.
Were all these parts, did you use the Genius app to program them?
As much as possible, yeah, definitely. So the Genius app is, um, like I said, it's a conversational programming tool, right? Tool selection and programming tool, and we did for all of our threading, for our whirling, we use the Genius app to be able to get speeds, feeds, and program snippets of code so that we could plug them into the machine. We got all that off of the Genius on the website, and I'll let you talk to Tal about that.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Tell, I think this is the best transition ever. Let's get into the Genius.
Yeah, definitely. So as Will said, the Genius is available either actually it's available as an app from the App Store, but it's also available on our website. And I don't know if many of our viewers have logged into our website over the last couple of months, but you can find the Genius right in the right-hand menu. You can see that we have a Genius
Let me
page.
just explain.
Yeah,
You're on an iPad right now, and you're going through this,
yes,
and everyone out there watching is
I hope so.
watching what Tal is doing.
Yeah, so I'm giving a brief overview of our website and just showing where we can find the Genius, which is what Will was talking about. And if I click on the online button, I can see this is the Genius, and as Will said, we can get a tool. It's a tooling selector and a CNC program generator for thread turning, for milling, tapping, and whirling. Uh, but let's talk about the website a little bit, because that's something that we also showcased at IMTS, which was, I don't know if we said it enough, it was a great show. I think
It was.
for Vargus and in general, I think it was a very professional show. And I think that, you know, 2020 was a little rough. 2022 was getting better. And now I think we're all back in business. So it was great to to be there and
I
to
think,
see the crowd coming in.
yeah, I think we've all established the fact that I'm pretty sure that in-person trade shows are here to stay.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
it's just good for the industry.
Yeah, definitely. So this is our website, and we showcase that at IMTS as well, as I said. And uh, it's a brand new website. It's actually a global website that's divided into local, different local websites. So right now I'm in the United States website, but you could actually log into any other of our websites over here. This is a project that's been going on for a couple of years, and we launched a new website in the United States about 6 or 8 months ago, I believe.
Is it by country? I can't read that from here. Is that
Oh,
by
yes.
country? Okay.
So we got the global at the top, and then if you want to go see, the Chinese website, if you want to see everything in Chinese, you can, right?
Wow.
But let's go back to a language that I can understand or somewhat understand, and I'll go to the U.S. and the U.S. is available in English. And another small little tip here is that you could actually change the measuring units of the tools that we're going to see,
Hmm.
whether you want it in inch or metric. For our audience, I'll keep it in inch. I'd rather have it in metric, but anyways.
We try
And
to use
the
both in the
tooling menu,
magazine, by the way.
right? The tooling menu, what that's about is that we offer many of our tools, specifically our holders or solid round tools, either in inch shank or in metric shank, meaning that they're two completely different tools. So whether you want to see only the inch shank tools, or whether you want to see only the metric, or you want to see our entire catalog, that's where you would choose that right over here. So I'll hit save, and I'm back in English. Here's the Genius menu again. So I'll give you a brief overview of the website part, although this is part of a larger project. We call it internally at Vargus, we call it 3E, which is the website, uh, the e-catalog, and later on the web shop. We'll talk about that later. But for the website, if I wanted to get some information about our tools or about our new products, then I could either scroll down and see different news, but I can also click here on the menu. And right here, I would have the news and media, where I can see news and new product announcements that uh, can be available in different languages, and you can download them as PDFs. I could also go see our videos, which are also, of course, available on YouTube. I can also search for a video. So all those videos that are animations that Will showed, you could probably find here. So if I looked up microscope, I could do that. Just hit micro, and here are 2 microscope movies that I can check out if I wanted to. And of course, our PDF catalogs are available here in the menu. Little tip, if you don't see it here, just hit show more and more of them will load. But you can also search for it, same way I did in the videos. And you could also look by category. So whirling that Will was talking about, we can download in different languages, and we can download the catalog. And here it is. Okay. But I think the greatest achievement that this website has uh, has to offer is our e-catalog, right? And so
Yeah,
our electronic catalog.
and that just rolled out.
Yeah, and that just rolled out with the website. Um, so if I don't want to download the PDF, and I have some idea of what tool I'm looking for, let's say we're looking for the whirling, I would click on threading right at the top or even in the side menu, as I did here. And here I have this nice little pizza icon, which is actually whirling. And I'll look for whirling holders, because usually you go from the holder to the insert in this case. And here are the different whirling holders that Vargus has to offer. Let's get more specific. Let's choose just a holder, and here I can see the different dimensions and parameters that we have for this tool. What's nice about this also is that we get a preview of the STP files, the step files that you can see here. And you can, of course, download the DXF files, the step files as well.
Okay, being a
Yeah, I'm
journalist.
being very,
No,
yeah,
but
I'm going
being a
fast.
journalist, and I want to add
Yeah,
something about the step files. I mean, that's pretty important. I mean, that's kind of like
yeah,
a game changer to see that immediately right on the.
right. So that's been an industry demand, and it's become an industry standard that companies provide step files. This wasn't the case in the past, and instead of the customer looking up the tool and then sending out an email or giving us a phone call, he has everything already available on the website in the e-catalog, um, which is really great. And it's part of what we're trying to do here, which is constantly improve and add new features, uh, more information for the customer, so that they can get everything done themselves. Of course, if they do need to contact us, it's right here at the bottom, and we would get the name of the product that they're interested in, and follow up on there.
You're just making it possible for them to get the most out of the tools that they
Definitely.
possibly can, and that that's pretty obvious from this.
Right. And and you can search for the tools. I showed you like a browsing option, but you can also search for the tool either by looking up the item number if you know it, or the EDP, or even the product description. So Will was talking about the mock tool. So here is uh, this mock tool that I can get to specifically, and here you can also see we got the step files again and all the dimensions and everything like that. And again, uh, and you can even in this one we've added that you could see which of the tool holders uh, can be used for this specific tool, which is also great. Yeah, we have a lot of information here. We're adding more information. um, I guess our next big project would be to integrate the Genius into it, which will be done in the future, along with many other new features uh, that be sure to log in all the time to check them out.
Very nice.
Mm.
This is probably not a good time to mention that I'm actually an AI app right here talking to you.
Right, that's the next. Yeah,
Is that
so
the
the
next?
next, well, one of them, so AI is that's something that's going into uh, pretty much any program that we're using these days, and we're also thinking about adding a chatbot type of thing so that this can better assist the customer looking for the right solution. But yeah, AI is, it's got a lot of advantages in making things much faster and more efficient. So that's what we're looking to do here as well.
Yeah. So, and this is been one of your main projects on your end that you've been trying to accomplish.
Yep, it's one of the major goals at Vargus is, we're trying to get our tools out and to be as accessible as possible to our customers, without, of course, uh, sacrificing the the human personnel part that Will had mentioned that is so important, right? Once you get the tool, let's optimize that for you. But the first step is to get you all the information that you would need. And when you have an extensive catalog, especially in threading, we try to help in finding that specific tool that you may need as easily as possible.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
What sort of feedback did you have at IMTS when you kind of were showing people this? Because I
I
know you
yeah,
were
I
there
think it
for a
was
few
great.
days anyway.
Yeah, I was there and we got to meet there. The feedback at IMTS and in general has been fantastic. People love the e-catalog. They love that it's being improved. They see the improvements. We're adding step files where we're missing them. We're adding new features. We're rolling out new features next week. Stay tuned for those that will improve searches. Our newest products are always updated on the e-catalog first. So any NPA that you may see the tools will already be available in the website. And it's just great. And I see from the analytics, I see more and more people going into our website. I see more and more people contacting us through our website, showing interest in our tools, showing interest in specific tools. It's a great way to help these customers. So yeah, the feedback has been excellent, and I hope it continues this way.
Well, you know what else feedback has been excellent on?
Good.
This Bourbon with the Editor podcast.
Want me to top you off?
Yes.
All right.
And give Joe, there you go. Give Joe a little bit more. We haven't spent that much time on the bourbon, but I got to tell you, Angel's Envy, it's not the first time I've had it. But boy, it really, it's nice. It's nice and smooth. It's just really enjoyable. And as far as someone's final opus, this is phenomenal.
It is.
Joe,
Thank you.
any final thoughts? Wrap up.
I think we had a great IMTS. Hopefully, we showed that we had a lot of excitement at IMTS. Had a great show with our new machine in it. And that'll continue having a machine in it. Works in our booth. Works great. So, and thank you again for inviting us to Bourbon with the Editor. It was a great time. Really got a good time to showcase and talk about some of our tools. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I just want to make sure everyone understands this is just another way of getting information out to our audience in a fun way, because I like bourbon. And Joe does too. Tal, you like it.
I like that. Yeah, I like
it.
I don't drink enough of it, but I like it.
It's not for everyone, but we're doing this in the evening because I want to make sure we're reaching people when they have the time to
find a new and interesting bourbon each episode. So we'll be on the look for the next one.
We've got some ideas up our sleeve for future episodes.
That's right.
And then the bourbon we're drinking. And if anyone has any suggestions for bourbon for any of the future episodes, let me know. And I'm always ready to hear somebody from anyone who has feedback about the episodes. Today was really very good, chock full of a lot of information. And Will, thank you for all of from the ST to.
Yeah, Will did a very good job. Thank you.
I mean, he was so busy. I mean, I'm surprised we had time to actually get you to do a video with us while we were there at the show, because you were constantly with customers, and that was good to see for you guys. And Tal,
thank you for having me.
And amazing what's going on with the website. So thank you for sharing this time with us. And once again, cheers to another episode of the Bourbon with the Editor.
All right.